I'll never forget when you're getting out wrestled and you're talking to DC and Khabib. I'm like, they're not even part of your team, Kevin.
Khabib, give me some wrestling advice.
Living good advice, though, right? Can't top that.
Now, you've been open about smoking some. If you did smoke during fight week, do you think you would feel okay?
Oh, I've done it before. It's like the Marvin Vettori fight. I was high as a kite. You know what I mean? Not during the fight, but like all week, I was high as a kite. It's like I'm not high off of belts. All I see is more media obligation.
But I'd be curious to see what happens when you put together 4, 5, 6 fight win streak to see if your demeanor is going to change. If you're like, no, Dad, I want to see if I could be the best in the world.
No. I don't think it will. It's like...
Oh, it's 15 time world champion Demetrious Johnson. You're listening to the MightyCast.
What's going on, guys? This episode on the MightyCast is sponsored by PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports game where you can play directly from your phone. It's very simple. All you gotta do is go to your app store, download PrizePick, and when you do that, make sure you use my promo code MightyCast. They have a cool promotion going on right now. All you gotta do is play $5 and you're gonna win $50 no matter what happens in that lineup, whether it's NFL, mixed martial arts, and college football. And speaking of college football, they have a cool promotion going on right now, the Natty Pack. It's a free pick. They believe this gentleman, Will Howard, all you gotta do is pick him. He's gonna go over 0.5 passing yards. Very simple. That's free square. Lock that one in before it's gone, ladies and gentlemen. And also look up for UFC 311, which is right around the corner this Saturday. Lock in the free Natty Pack and look out for UFC 311. Shout out to PrizePick for sponsoring this episode of the MightyCast. Now let us enjoy the beautiful talk with Kevin Holland. Bring him on in. Here we go.
A microphone, but
there we go.
you know, I don't know how to do this shit. Let me throw some of this shit down in the background. Take them all the
Oh fuck. Boom! Welcome back to another episode of the MightyCast, ladies and gentlemen. We got a special guest here today. When I heard this man lived on a farm or he was out hunting 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, I was worried about him. He never returned my calls. I was like, this motherfucker, the Django of mixed martial arts. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome in Kevin Holland. Kevin, welcome to the MightyCast, brother. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Shit, you know, I went to the gym today. You know, I just did back and biceps and tries and a little core. You know, even though I'm retired, I still gotta stay strapped. I still gotta stay ready. And yeah, you know, a lot of people. I just got done training with the boys at Eagle MMA, and they're like, "You retired? Why are you still in good shape and you're retired?" I was like, "Am I supposed to get fat? Am I supposed to just let myself go? Like, I still want to be 10. I want to still be 10 when I take my clothes off. My wife still wants to jump in bed with me, so I ain't gonna let myself go. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Now you live on a farm. I didn't know that. So tell me about this farm life. Like, you know,
No, so I don't live on a farm, but I do. I got some acres out in Nakona, and then my boy actually has a farm, mini farm, not too far down the road. So I'm always over there whenever I got to do things, and then go out to Nakona as much as possible.
Ah, okay. See, I thought you lived on a farm, and I saw you, on one of the videos, you're riding a horse in the middle of the fucking city. And I was like, man, this guy rides horses too. So I was going to ask, like, did you grow up on a farm? Were you around farm animals but it's just...
No, so growing up, we had this house that was like right across the street from like a decent sized farm out in California. So when I moved out here, a lot of my buddies and stuff, they do a lot of the farm life and stuff like that. So that's always pretty cool. Just getting older, just, graduating, find other things to do with life. My kid actually likes to ride horses. So that kind of got me into riding and stuff like that. My son's done a little rodeo and everything like that, barrel racing and stuff. So he's all into it. So anything he's into, I try and get as much knowledge as I can, so that way I'm not too lost in the sauce when he's doing his thing.
Who introduced him into the barrel racing and riding the horses? Because my brother-in-law, both my brother-in-law have rode bulls their entire life. They try to get my black ass on the bull, and I said, absolutely not. And they're trying to get my kids on it too. That life's past them, but I never let my kids get on a horse or a bull. Was it your friends who got your kids into the horse riding?
Yeah, so one of my cornermen, we call him Cowboy. His name's Justin Adams. My kids call him Uncle Cowboy and stuff like that. So he actually rode bulls and stuff like that on his upbringing and stuff. So he got me on a bull a few years back. So when my kid said he wanted to ride a horse, I was like, yeah, no problem. Went and got him a horse, and he enjoys it. So Cowboy says do it, and we're always down. You know, he's one of those bad and good influences at the same time.
Yeah, I would fucking say I'm scared of horses. My wife's like, we should ride horses on our trip. I was like, I'm not getting on that fucking horse because I always think about. I always think about Christopher Reeves, Superman. He fell off, broke his neck. Right? That's something that's traumatized me as a child because I used to love watch Superman. And then next thing you know, the homeboy didn't show up for the job because he broke his neck. So for me, I'm like, nope, ain't fucking doing it.
That's a good reason not to get on, for sure. I don't do helicopters because Kobe passed in a helicopter,
dude,
so I'll do a helicopter.
I'm the same fucking way. I'm like, they're like, man, we should do a helicopter ride. I was like, nope, there's nothing I need to see. I've seen it when I fly across the world to Thailand, to Vegas, the same view I'm going to see from my fucking seat on Alaska Airlines is perfect. I don't know what type of view I'm going to get in a helicopter. And, you know, there's just some things that we just don't touch. And helicopters, horses, are two of the things on my list that I just don't touch.
Yeah, I could feel you on that. I agree.
Okay. Now,
at least the helicopter part.
Well, one day, I mean, I think it'd be dope to ride a helicopter and shoot some content off it. Like, be badass, but I don't know if it's worth risking. And one of my old coaches, he flies a helicopter and he says it's super safe. But I'm like, nah, dog. I mean, I don't, it's very
risky
hard.
business.
It's risky business. Okay, Kevin, I felt like you burst on the scene. When you caught my eye is when you would have your fights, you'd be talking so much shit when you be fighting. Right? You be slapping people. You be talking to your opponent. You be talking to the cornerman. You be talking to KHABIB, DC. Now, when you train, is that something you do when you're training with your training partners, get ready for fights, or is that something that just sparks when you're in the middle of the fight in the octagon?
Nah, it's kind of always been me. I'm just jabba jaws. I'm always going to talk. So it's like when we're in the cage fighting's kind of boring after a while. You know, it's like you're not really doing anything. Half the time we're just standing there watching together. So it's like, full casual conversation, you know, or if they're on top of me and I just realize I can't get free, I'll just start talking like, fuck it, bro. I mean, you're not really doing anything. I'm not doing anything. So let's just hold a conversation here. So it's just always been something I've done. You know, it's like even in the gym, it's like we're doing jiu-jitsu and I'm just talking. There's a lady named Miss Sue at the gym. And it's like when I first started training jiu-jitsu, she was rolling with me and she was giving me hell. You know, she was like, I couldn't do anything. And she was talking to my mom the whole time while my mom was sitting on the side. And I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. So, you know, I was like, at the time I was 17, 18 years old. So I'm a grown man, you know what I mean? In my eyes, she's just dogging me. So yeah, you know, that's just the personality I have in the gym. And that's the personality I have when it comes to combat. Casual conversation rules the nation.
Now, where is that, in gi or no gi when she was working you?
Gi.
Oh, okay.
She's always been really crazy good at gi.
Okay. Because sometimes I always like to ask because it's a huge difference in the gi than it is in no gi. Because in no gi, you can use your athleticism, you can just break her way. But in the gi, if she's got you tied up with the lapel or anything like that, then it's kind of like she's got you strapped down.
Yeah, I'd roll one way, the choke would get tighter. I'd go the other way, the choke wouldn't be tight. I just couldn't go anywhere. So it was just one of those situations where it was like her foot was here, my head was here, my arm was there. It was bad.
Yeah, I fucking love the gi. That's one thing I love about the gi is that if you don't know which way to turn, if you turn the wrong way, you pretty much fuck yourself. So that's why it's so much more knowledge. And it's a breath of fresh air for myself. Like you just said it right now, you said fighting's boring, right? You just said fighting is boring. So for you to make it interesting, you got to talk to people. If fighting's boring for you, how long have you been fighting for? Like, when did you first started fighting? Because I feel like you're relatively young. You're in your late 20s, early 30s?
Yeah, 30, 31, 30, 32.
Yeah, so you're still young. So how long have you been fighting for? Like, what was the first time you got introduced into mixed martial arts?
I got introduced to mixed martial arts when I was like 16. I had my first fight at like 18. I had a first fight at 17. And then... you know, I didn't do mixed martial arts until I think I was like 19, 20. So I've just been doing it a while. But I fight a lot. You know, it's like everybody else takes time off and, you know, they fight once or twice a year. And it's like, I fight as many times as I can. Even on a local circuit, it's like I fought a lot. You know, it's like it's the only way to pay the bills if you're a full-time fighter.
Yep.
You got to fight.
Yep. Now, what did you do before so you say you got into mixed martial arts, you got exposed to it at 16 years old. What did you do before that? Were you an athlete in school or were you just like a normal kid playing tag outside, playing hide and seek?
I was a fuck up. I was doing everything bad. I was having a blast, you know? So yeah, martial arts was one of those good things, you know, kind of like kept me out of having too much fun, getting in the streets and stuff. But yeah, before martial arts, I was just having fun, just living my best life. lot of things to not be told.
What's going on, guys? This episode of the MightyCast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, BetterHelp is an online therapy session that will get you connected with a licensed therapist. All you gotta do is go to the website, fill out the questionnaire, and they're gonna get you connected with somebody who's going to be the best fit for you. Now, one of the cool things about BetterHelp is that it is an online therapy session directly catered around your schedule, the flexibility, and you could be done right at your home. If you guys are thinking about trying therapy, let's give it a try at betterhelp.com/MightyCast. That's going to help you save 10% on your first month. And one of the cool things about therapy is that there's no more stigma around it. A lot of people like to talk to somebody that is not in their circle. That's somebody who has no connection to their friends, family, or whatever it may be bothering them. And the producer, Michael Wanzer, he's a big fan of going to therapy. He tells me that it helps him keep him accountable. And sometimes that man likes to slack, but your boy here and a therapist, we keep him on the grind, boys. So check out betterhelp.com/MightyCast. It's going to help you save 10% on your first month. Shout out to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode of the MightyCast. Now let us get back to our guest, Kevin Holland. And who made you do mixed martial arts? Like, there has to be, like, for me, I grew up in a household with a deaf mom, you know, brother and sister. So I didn't watch boxing. I didn't watch mixed martial arts. I just did sports in high school. But eventually I found mixed martial arts through watching The Ultimate Fighter. For you, Who was that person who was like, dog, you need to do this, or get your ass off the street, stop living, you know, I don't want to say living your best life is a bad thing, you know, but I'm assuming you're into, you know, doing some bad shit. So who was the one who pulled your ass off the streets and put you in the gym?
Let me see. So when I was younger, I guess my grandpa used to watch, you know, boxing and stuff like that. He used to watch the Diaz brothers on Strikeforce, so that was always enjoyable. You know, he would flick back and forth between boxing and MMA whenever he had a chance to, if he had a decent fight that he wanted to watch on. So that wasn't always bad. I wasn't as interested into it as he was. You know, it was just something to do for a few minutes if I was in trouble and I couldn't watch regular TV. But I guess when I was like 16, I got kicked out of school for headbutting security guard. So when I got kicked out of school for headbutting security guard, the next school I went to was a continuation school. The continuation school is a school full of bad kids. So my grandma didn't want me to go into the big location. She wanted me to go to the small location. Her excuse was, you know, grandma having to take care of her grandkid. She didn't want to drive too far. The other school was close to the house. You know, turns out the teacher in there was a martial arts instructor by the name of Mark Kennedy. He had a bunch of kids in there who swore up and down they could fight. I swore up and down they couldn't fight. I went there, I beat up the kids, but the instructor beat me up. So I was like, damn, I want to know what this old guy knows. And so that was it. That was a wrap. You know, next thing you know, I started learning from him, and you know, it was pretty cool.
And and are you still with him?
No, he lives in California. I live in Texas. I haven't talked to him in years. You know, it was kind of one of those. He was a tough old guy. You know, it was like I turned 18. It was time to get out of the school. He gave my black belt before I got done with the graduation. So I took the black belt and ran. So it was pretty cool. And he always said, once you got your black belt, it was time to explore and learn new arts. So I explored to learn new arts. He was a fan of Loyola Machida, though. I started getting into mixed martial arts because I started watching in the middle of the night, like the UFC fights. But it wasn't UFC, it was WEC.
Mm-hmm. Hey!
And, yeah. I watched Uriah and I was like, damn, you know, fight's pretty hard. And next thing you know, I was telling him I'd consider taking a fight, you know, to put the martial arts on the map type thing. You know, you're young, you got aspirations, you want to do all these different things.
Yeah.
And I went and started training at this local gym down the street, and he was like, that's fake fighting. Real fighting, you know, there's no rules. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I just want to compete. And I found out you can make money, so I was like, sounds good. So then I ordered UFC 99, went to UFC 100. Then he started, you know, showing me a load of Machida videos and was like, if you're going to fight, you know, you got to make sure it looks good like this. Long story short, I look nothing like that. I just go out there and scrap. So it was what it is.
Well, I feel like your style's a little unique because each time you come to fight, you do fight. You got some beautiful knockouts. Like when you knocked out, what's his name, Jacare from your back, you were talking to him, right? I feel that there's certain things in training that people, or fighting, excuse me, they don't do. And one of them is talking to your opponent or showboating, right? You see Anderson Silva, he'll turn his back, he'll do his thing. And everybody's like, oh shit, do I attack him? What do I do? Or you see, you know, Nate Diaz, he walks away from you and he's, you know, doing his thing and flipping you off. Like those things are like unique things that you don't train in the gym. And you would talk to your opponents. You're like, yeah, you like that? Huh? What? slap you. I'll never forget when you're getting out wrestled and you're talking to DC and Khabib and you're like, guys, like, what am I supposed to do here? You guys aren't helping me. I'm like, they're not even part of your team, Kevin.
Khabib, give me some wrestling advice.
What are you doing? Get your head back in the game.
Good advice, all right? Can't top that.
But I mean, it's very unique. And when you knocked out Jacare from your back, you were talking to him. I think like you catch people off surprise. And that's what I feel makes you a fan favorite, because you always bring something unique to the fight and you always go out in your shield, or you put people out under their shield. And that's why I think people enjoy your style so much. So it's very unique. Not everybody's going to have the most prettiest style like Lyoto Machida, right? But if you're able to entertain and put people away, that's all that matters, because in the day, like you said, it's fighting, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's a scrap. I love a scrap. So doesn't matter what it is. I'll go for it.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. I always wanted to ask you this. You've been doing a lot of content from the toilet, shit from the shitter. Okay, where does this come from? Like, what? Tell me about this shit from the shitter.
I don't know. One day I dropped the video on the shitter, and everybody was like, "Bro, I can relate because I'm taking a shit right now too." So I was like, "Bro, I feel you." So I didn't do it for a while, and like all my fans were like, "Bro, what happened to real shit from the shitter?" Yeah. So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna drop another one from the shitter." And then I didn't do one again for like a month, and they were like, "Bro, we need that shit daily to weekly or something." So now, I'm just sitting there taking a shit, and you always have good things come to your mind when you're taking a shit or you're in the shower, and so I just drop it, bro. That's the best knowledge right there.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I'm going through my Instagram, and I see him like shit from the shitter. I'm like, let me see what his black ass is saying. And I see you have your blood. You're like, guys, what's some real shit? I was like, okay, this man's getting lit on a toilet and also spitting some knowledge. I'm like, what this is creative. Nobody really does that, because sometimes the best thoughts come to you in the quiet area, right? The white space, as some people call it, the white space. You're sitting there, you're thinking, and a lot of people just start going off the riff, and I love it. Shit from the shitter. And I'm like, this is genius, because nobody else is doing it. I love it.
Yeah, I be telling people, I was like, I'm gonna really start a podcast, real shit from the shitter. I probably never will, but it's fucking fun to do. So,
I mean, you could probably do it as long as your guest is taking a shit and you're taking a shit, and then it's gonna be, a long shit.
It'd be a good one. 15 minute interviews.
Oh, okay, yeah, you could do that.
Let me go.
You could do
Quick
that.
ones. Let it fly.
Hey, well, if you need me on a guest, I'll be your first guest. You want to do that?
That'd be awesome.
I'll be sitting there but see, I gotta make sure to do it when the kids are gone to school, because they'll be coming there bothering me. I got
That's
time.
The best. That's the real shit from the shitter right there. It's got to be real.
Yep.
You can never time a perfect shit. You know what I mean? When it's there, it's there.
So how you gonna line up the guests? Are you gonna like wait for the bow moment? You gonna wait for
you guys eat milk and cookies the night before.
and you're hoping that's gonna get the person to shit at the right time when you want to go live.
I gotta catch you in the morning. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, give you a late night, make sure there's a snack there for you. I'll probably order some crumble cookie or something for somebody as soon as they get home. So chow a few of those down. They're gonna shit.
Those things are fucking full of sugars. Those would make me shit. It would be explosive diarrhea. I don't think it would be a good interview. My asshole would be burning. The room would be funky. I don't think I can hold.
You'd be sweating. It'd be hard to think.
Exactly. So it would be miserable from the shitter. That's what my episode would be called. Miserable Mighty from the shitter. That's what my episode would be called.
People can relate though. That's all that matters.
That is fucking true. They would be able to rate like, fuck them crumble cookies. Always give me the shits. Look at Kevin and DJ just shitting their brains out on the toilet together.
Hey, crumble would go up in sales. Everybody would want to feel like us. So
I don't know. I don't know. I've never envy anybody who had explosive diarrhea on the toilet from eating sugary cookies. I don't think I want those problems, Kevin. And I don't think you want them either. I don't think you want those either.
Experience it at least once, the crumble. The crumble effect.
Oh my goodness. Now you've been open about smoking some marijuana, right? I mean, last time I tried to get you on the podcast. Hey, just so we know, I do it too. Last time I tried to get on the podcast, you were like, hey, I need a little smoke break here and there. Now, how often do you do it? Do you do it during training camp? Do you do it do you not do it in training camp? What is like your routine for that? Because for me, I felt like it made me not a better athlete, but it gave me the opportunity to actually explore and believe in my talent, essentially.
I just smoke a lot of weed because I have a lot of energy and it keeps me calm. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's like I wake up in the morning, I toke one. I probably took like 3 or 4 before I go to practice in the morning, and I smoke blunts. So I'm just like your OG boy. I'm just smoking them down. You know what I mean? Just blazing them all day. I probably, realistically, it's like, it's 15 packs of fucking guards in a box. I probably blaze down, if I'm smoking heavy and I got a road trip, that whole box is gone in a day. No
Damn.
problem. Yeah, I can blow.
Is there any point in time? So for me, I've never finished a whole blunt. Like for me, I'm like a little bunny or a little mouse. I'm like, okay, I'm high, I'm good, boom, woo, I'm good to go, right? Is there ever a point in time where you get too fucking high, or is it just like it just keeps you right? Like I haven't really experienced it. Like, okay, I'm gonna smoke this full fucking blunt. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna vibe out to some music, and we're just gonna vibe out. Like, what? Tell me through this. I've never talked to anybody who's like, yeah, man, I smoke 15 in a day or something.
Yeah. So it's like if I'm playing 2K, right? And it's like I realize like by the time I get done, I'm like, damn, I'm faded as fuck. I'll just go take a nap. I'm like, it's a wrap for the day. But it's like if I'm playing 2K, it's like if we play 5 games of 2K, I probably smoke 4 to 5 blunts.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just the way it goes. Then we get on Call of Duty, and then when that stick's done, you know what I'm saying? Like we deploying out the air, I'm pressing the X button. I'm rolling another wood right there. You know what I mean? And then when that was done, you know what I mean? I'm probably sitting in the lobby for a little bit, rolling another one. You know, it's like I'm gonna smoke while I'm playing the video games. And then when it comes time to watch TV, I'm gonna smoke while I'm watching TV. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm smoking while I'm watching a show and I finish the blunt, if I eat some snacks, I'm probably gonna fall asleep because I probably just smoke like 5 or 6 blunts on a game. Then I smoke another blunt while. So it's like I never get too high. I just take a nap.
What's going on, guys? This podcast is sponsored by VIIA Hemp. Now, VIIA Hemp is a premium hemp company that has amazing products ranging from CBD, THC, and non-THC gummies. Now, my favorite product to take, it depends on what I'm trying to get in the mood for. You know, the holidays is right around the corner, and sometimes I take the beautiful thing to get me elevated is the elevated VIIA Hemp. Or if you're not trying to get elevated and you want to have that clear, focus state, I like to take their flow state, which is this Bible right here. I love it so much. I take it right before I'm about to do a MightyCast or when I'm about to get in the office and start doing some editing. Another cool thing about VIIA Hemp is that it ships directly to your house discreetly. And if you want to find out more information about VIIA Hemp, all you got to do is look in the description below, take a look at it, and see if VIIA Hemp is the perfect thing for you. Make sure you guys go to VIIAHemp.com, check out the website, and make sure you use my promo code MIGHTY. That'll help you save 15% on your complete order. Shout out to VIIA Hemp for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the content that me and Mike are cooking up for you guys. Gotcha. So you say even keel. Like, so if you don't smoke, like how often do you not smoke? Like, is there a day where you don't smoke, or are you like up, wake up, fight week?
Yeah, that's about it.
Gotcha. Do you think if you did smoke during fight week, do you think you would feel okay, or you like, okay? Because I feel like you're going through.
Oh, I've done it before.
Yeah. Well, how'd it go?
Yeah, like if it's legal in the state, I'll smoke all week until they tell me I can't smoke no more, and I'm perfectly fine.
And how your lungs feel? Your lungs feel good?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's like the Marvin Vittori fight. I was high as a kite. You know what I mean? Not during the fight, but like all week, I was high as a kite. 5 rounds didn't feel like shit that time. So the Derek Brunson fight, I was all worried. I was like, damn, bro. I was like, I'm not going to smoke that much because I got 5 rounds. So I don't want to be fucking with my lungs. It's like first time doing 5 rounds in a UFC fight. I was like, it could go that long. You know, he wants to wrestle and stuff. So I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, bro, I stressed myself out for no reason. I still lost the fucking fight. So then after the next one, I was like, I'm just going to smoke. So they gave me Marvin Vittori on the last second. I was partying and everything. I didn't feel any different. It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like, you got to get the pace. The pace got to be pushed. You know what I mean? And it's like a lot of times when you got 5 rounds, they don't push the pace. I don't push the pace. So we're just chilling. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I find it fascinating because I didn't start doing it later in my life, like out at the very end of my career. I think once my sister passed, I got knocked out by Adriano. That's when I kind of like really dabbled in it. And then I felt like it kind of opened my mind to like experimenting and not trying to be the best fighter in the world. It was like I was always trying to be perfect. And I only did edibles at the time. And then my wife, she's always been into smoking blunts and bongs and all that stuff. And then one day I saw her, I was like, you know, it was like maybe, I think a year ago. I saw her, I'm outside working, and I see her outside, she's taking a hit. And I was like, God, it looks so easy. And it happens like that. I was like, give me some of that shit. I tried it, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. And then some days I'll be like, I'm going to smoke the night before I go train. And I would do it, and I'll go in the gym, and I'll do 10 rounds. Feel amazing. And
You've
I'll
never been high, like going to jiu-jitsu?
God, no, I don't think I can do it.
Bro, it's the best. Rolling high is the shit, bro.
You think so? You think I should do it?
Yeah, at least once or twice. After you do it once, though, you're gonna try to want to do it again. Great. Do gi jiu-jitsu though. Don't do no gi. Like
no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be gi.
Yeah.
It'll be gi. Well, I just find it.
Gi faded.
I just find it fascinating because I always tell people I feel like smoking is way. I mean, granted, drinking alcohol and smoking weed, they're not healthy, right? But I tell people I feel like if you're gonna pick one of the evils, I would pick smoking over drinking, or don't do any of them, right? But we all have vices. We don't enjoy our life, and everybody does whatever they want to do, right? And for me, if you were to drink as much as you smoke, you would die, right? I mean, you look at Wiz Khalifa, smokes all the time. Snoop Dogg smokes all the time. KD, one of the greatest basketball players of our time right now, smokes all the time. And I'm like, there has to be something to where our body, it puts your body in a state of zen, of a flow state, where don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out there who can't smoke. They're like, I can't do it. I get anxiety. My mind, I become a couch potato. Where there's been people out there. Shit, my wife sometimes.
Wrong shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well, see, sometimes my wife, she goes, I'm gonna go outside real quick. I got a lot of shit to get done. She'll go outside to hit, whole fucking house be clean. Well, not whole house clean, but she'll get all the shit done. I was like, you smoke some intelligent weed? What you doing, baby?
That's how it was for my mom growing up. So like my mom, it's like I would see her, she like, she act like she wasn't smoking. She'd go hit the little stairwell.
Yeah.
Take a couple hits off her little blood, come in the house, whole house. I ain't had to clean my room that day. I'd be like, damn, hell yeah. I'm like, go do that shit again. You know what I mean? But it's like, she gets older and she's like, I don't think I want to smoke anymore. And I'm like, but what about my house? Like, I need you to blow one down. Don't knock this shit out. What are you doing? Like, just get faded and come appreciate everything you about to clean up. Like, just smoke away.
That's fucking hilarious. Like, mom, I think this could really help you. I just find it like me growing up, like my mom never smoked. My sister, she never did. I was never around it. And there was always a bad stigma around marijuana. So for me, I stayed away from it as far as possible. Now that, I'm 37 years old, I've experienced life, and I just feel it's something that gets a bad stigma. And I always enjoy picking fighters' brains on who enjoy it, who train, live. I feel like you live a healthy lifestyle. You're one of the best in the world. I've never seen you like, I don't know. I never seen you like, usually when you're in trouble in a fight is when you like, you don't know what to do. Right? Like when you're getting out wrestled, you're just like, oh shit, what do I do? Help. Khabib, help. Fuck. You know what I mean? So it's not like, and that's not from smoking, right? That's just from.
But I bet you if I was faded, I'd probably figure it out. I'd hit a little backflip or some shit. I'm trying to tell you. Boy, turn Batman in there.
Give you your creativity to be able to.
Think about it. I've never, ever not been successful in a situation on the streets when somebody's life was on the line or if it was a dangerous situation, because I was always faded. I was always good to go.
Yeah. Huh? Well, maybe you should. Is there a rule where you can't smoke before you go out there? Like, do you?
Yeah, can't smoke in competition. So the moment you get off that scale until the moment you fight, you're technically in competition.
I wonder why. That is.
I don't know. I just follow the rules the best I can.
I'm sure you can get away with it.
Probably. I'm not gonna try it. Side is crazy. You know what I mean? When I was younger, I used to get in a lot of trouble. So I've been on probation before. So USADA reminds me of probation. So I'm just like, yeah, I ain't fucking with probation. They'll lock your black ass up.
Gotcha. Well, I'll never forget Mike Tyson. He got high before he fought Roy Jones Jr. That's what he said. He goes, I got to get high before I go out there and fight. I don't think he did it against Jake Paul, but when he fought Roy Jones Jr., he talked about getting lit before going out there. And I don't know. I find it's something I find fascinating because it's something that a lot of athletes don't talk about. It's almost like I said before, it's like taboo, right? Like I always tell people, I've heard so many stories of people getting extremely drunk at a bar, coming home, beating their wives, beating their kids, DUI, killing people. I've never heard of anybody getting extremely high and coming home beating their wives. I've heard people getting extremely high, coming home and falling asleep and eating all the goddamn food in the house, but I've never heard of that situation when it comes to marijuana. And so I always find it fascinating talking to athletes who enjoy doing it when they are fighting. So, hey, thanks you for sharing that, that part of your life with me, because I've always wondered about, like, do athletes who do marijuana, do they always worry about their lungs? What I'll always say about this: if Snoop Dogg can smoke all that weed, Wiz Khalifa, and their lungs look, I'm assuming it might be a little bit brown. It ain't pink as pink, but I'd be curious, like, just what the damage it does to somebody's lungs, especially an athlete. But you see so many athletes do it, so I'm like, it can't be bad for their lungs. I don't know. I don't know. So I always wanted to pick your brain about that.
Their lungs, they're just here for a little while. We'll all be gone one day. We ain't gonna need them again.
I mean, that's a great way to look at it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Not like I'm a fish or anything,
Oh, fuck. Okay, you got a big fight coming up. Let's get back on track, okay? Let's get back on track. You got a big fight coming up. You're taking an RDR, former One Championship champion, double champ. How are you looking at this fight? Because I feel like you said earlier today, you fight as much as you can, right? Because you are correct. The only time an athlete makes money in mixed martial arts, where the big checks, is when they fight. And for you be running it. You just be one after another, after another, after another. Like, if they need to fill a card or somebody drops out, I feel like you're on Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard's speed dial. So I'm gonna call Kevin. I'm calling Kevin. How are you looking at this fight going against RDR?
Same as any other fight. Go in there, bang it out. It's like, coaches have a game plan. They always have, ideas on what I should do, and they're usually right. Just matter of I go out there and implicate that shit or not. So hopefully I'm in listening mood when I get out there. But if not, give you guys what I always give you guys, good scrap till it's not.
So where does this come from? I feel like you're, out of all the athletes we've had on the MightyCast, I feel you have this. I don't want to call it a rebel, but I feel like it's like I want to say a little bit of rebel. It's like, hey, I'm sure you go to the gym, you listen to your coaches, you hit your pads, you're doing the work, you're getting your nutrition and all that stuff. And then when it comes to fighting, you talk to some athletes like, man, I want to be a world champion. That's my end goal. That's what I want to do. And you have some athletes like, hey, I'm just here to collect this check, make this money, and come back home and invest the money, do what I want to do. Where do you lie? I feel like you remind me of myself when I would train in the gym. I saw fighting as a job, and that's what made me so good. And that's what Matt said. He goes, you showed up to the gym, you got the fucking work done, and you went home. You didn't come here and talk about, oh, I want to be the best in the world. I want to da, 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 da. You showed up, you did the work, you went home. Right? I looked at it at a job. For me, that's kind of like the feeling I'm getting from you. You show up, you put the fight on, and you go home. You put your money where you want to do, and that's it. Where you have a lot of guys like, man, I can't wait to get that next number one contender fight, and I can't wait to get that. Like, what's your end goal? What's your end game, Kevin?
Just make a whole bunch of money, never have to worry. That's like, that's it. Just make a bunch of money, never have to worry. And it's like, entertain people too. It's like, I have a good time. I have a fun time entertaining people. It's like, I have a fun time going out there, doing my thing. It's like, it is a job at the end of the day. Don't get it twisted. It's like, you got a boss, you got this, you got that. Everything falls in line. It's like, I go in, clock out. So that's all that matters. It's like, I get home. It's all about the kids. It's all about the hunts. It's all about chilling. But for the most part, it's like, I'm not high off of belts, it's like, when I was a local guy, it's like, I was like, yeah, dude, I really, really want to have this belt. I really, really want to have that belt. I really want to have this belt. And then I got the belt, and like, I didn't feel like anything changed. It's like, and then they say when you get to the UFC, all this changes and all that changes when you get the belt. And all I see is more media obligations. It's like, me being who I am now, I got a decent amount of media obligations as it is. It's like, I do more interviews than the average person on a fight week, and I'm cool with that. I'm great with that. To say that I want to do that much more for what? It's almost like, sometimes, be truthful with you, sometimes I go out there and I completely go against the game plan when I know it doesn't matter if we win or lose, because I'm just gonna go out there and have a good fucking time any fucking way. I'm gonna get paid pretty fucking good. I'm actually gonna get paid pretty great. And I hear about what the champs make, and I know what I make. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't really see the need to go that much further. Would it be nice to, for sure, pay-per-view numbers? Yeah, it'd be nice. But at the same time, it's like, you might not even know if those are real numbers or not. So who the fuck cares? you know, so take what you get and run with that. I mean, I'm doing pretty well and I'm happy. So it's like, I see some of the champs and it's like, besides Alex Pereira, none of them really look that happy. So just keep doing what I did, you know?
I fucking love it. I love it. I love it. Well,
And then think about it too. They lose the belt and their whole fucking life is over. They're like, what do I do? I'm never going to be champ again. I got to be champ again. It's like, bro, sit back and enjoy it, bro. You make more doing what we do than the average person does. You make more than doctors make, dog.
Yeah.
Enjoy this shit.
Yeah.
You know? And I didn't have to go to college to get it. So, yeah, I'm happy.
I love that. I love that mindset because I think a lot of athletes get lost in that. I was talking to a young athlete today and I'm like, what's your goal? Like that's when I talk to young athletes, like, what's your end game? Like, what's your goal from fighting? Like, are you trying to make a shitload of money and be able to live the best life you can live? And my best friend always tells me, you can make $200,000 a year and spend $250,000, you're gonna be fucking broke. But if you make $200,000 a year and you only spend $60,000, you have $140,000 just sitting there doing whatever the fuck you want to do. So money is always relevant to what your spending habit is. And to hear you say like, yeah, when you get the belt, I just see more media obligations. That's all I see, right? Like,
and they fight less frequently. Like it's very rare that you see like somebody like Pereira or Volkanovski who was fighting all the time. Like Volkanovski had the belt. He was pretty frequently fighting. You know, Pereira has a belt. He's fighting like a guy who doesn't have the belt. It's not often you see that. These guys get the belt. They want to take a year off. They want to see how long they can be reigning, defending champions on days, not how many times they can defend their title. And to me, it's, you know, it's cool. It's great. I'm glad you guys think like that. But then now you have the people who write our checks thinking like that. So now we're sitting down doing media obligations, getting paid to do this media run or that media run, or maybe not even get paid to do it. And it just doesn't make sense. You know, it's like, I'd much rather be the guy on the job that's actively fighting. You ever hear about a guy who's like getting to the top of the job and they give him a chance to go up in the rankings and he knows he's going to make a little bit more money, but he knows the amount of work that he's going to have to do is going to be ridiculous and he just doesn't want to do that work? I'm that guy. I'm happy. You know, it's like, I'm on the front line pushing the belt and I'm fucking good with it, you know?
So where does that come from? Right? Because you don't really see that. Like, don't get me wrong. When I was a champion, I fought 3 times in 1 year and I also had surgery. Right? And that's why I think it was, I don't want to say it was easy for me. In the 6 years I was a champion, I got to 11 consecutive title defenses. So 12 title fights. So I was running it. And like nowadays, I feel like the last person who's putting that type of work in was Izzy Adesanya. And, you know, he was fighting all the time. He went up to light heavyweight to try to get that belt. But, you know, all we see is what the champions are doing. They get the belt. They want to relax. You know, you have Marab who's taking on Umar, Umar Nurmagomedov.
It's not because he wanted to, though. It's because they made him.
Exactly. So, and then like, I remember I was listening to Aljo and he said they made this fight on 6 weeks notice. And I'm like, okay, so like, where does that mindset that you have come from? Right? Like because like you said, we both agree, like the more you fight, the more money you're going to make. And you see it as a job, as I saw it as a job. At one point in time, I can't tell you when I had that trigger in my mind. Like, I feel like there's always 2 sides of me. There's a side of me where I showed up to the gym, I put the work in, and I went home. Then I took care of my life. And then there was a part of me when I don't know when that athlete or that person was, I was thinking, okay, I want to break Anderson Silva's record, right? I don't know where that person lies in my journey as a mixed martial artist, right? Like I always wanted to be the best athlete or the best well-rounded athlete, but I never had that dream of, you know, when I look at kids now, it's like, I want to be a UFC champion. I don't think that was ever in my bone. And so when I'm talking to you, I kind of feel like you had that same thing I did. Like, I'm here to collect my check, get back home and do whatever I got to do to survive and enjoy life and enjoy this journey. But when you look at the champions now, you say like, they don't look happy. It looks like they're just doing way more media obligation. I mean, obviously Alex Pereira, he out there in Korea doing his dancing and shit, but he's having fun. And for you, you're like, you know, I don't need to be the CEO of the company. I'm making great money. I'll keep on, you know, doing TPS reports and living my best life. Where does that mindset come from?
I don't know. That's just kind of me. It's like, it's always been me. It's like, I was like that growing up and I'm like that now. It's like, I don't need to be the light of the room. You know, it's like, big enough in my own spotlight, so I don't have to be the superstar. And it's like a lot of these guys need the belt to be the superstar. And it's like Kev's Kev. Kev enjoys being Kev. So it's like I just don't need too much. You know, it's like to it's like, it's already bad enough. You know, you go places, you go get something to eat and everybody knows who you are. It's like, I don't want everybody to know who I am. It's already bad enough that 5 or 6 do. So it's like, I mean, these guys, it's good for these guys. I'm very, I like it. I like that, you know, guys like that type of stuff. Me personally, I just really like breaking necks, collecting checks, and just going on to the next.
So then what happens when Kevin goes on like an 8-fight win streak and you get a contract comes to your table and it's okay, Kevin, get ready. You're about to fight for the world title. You're going to get paid $2 million to show, $2 million to win. Pay-per-view.
Back to welterweight?
Huh?
Back to welterweight?
No,
just jump weight classes again.
Whatever you feel comfortable. I'm trying to lay out, I'm trying to lay something out. $2 million to show, $2 million to win, pay-per-view points. You're about to fight for the world title. And then you look at the contract and say, okay, media obligation. It's going to be a fuck ton of media obligations, right? Does Kevin take that fight, or Kevin goes, nah? Can you put me back down to 250 to show, 250 to win, and just let me come and fight? And what does Kevin do when the opportunity comes to?
I mean, if it was like a dramatic change like that, that'd be a different story.
Okay,
but
okay.
Let's be real here. It's not a dramatic change like that. So it's like
I know it's not. I just want to throw.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, yo. That's a wet dream. I'll take it if it's true. But if it's not a wet dream, I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of guys like the baddest girl in the room. I like the, you know what I'm saying? Because the baddest one in the room will get you a headache, though. She will do everything and you happy. You know what I mean? I'm a happy guy, you know?
Oh, fuck. Hey, Michael, you listening to that? Michael, you learned something from this man, okay? When you out there at the bar, you're looking for all them 10s, why don't you settle for maybe like a 7 or 8? She gonna have a good time with you, Michael. And, you're gonna have a good time. No more stress, okay?
No more stress. No more stress. Just back it back a little bit. When you see the bad one, walk up to her and then turn to her friend. Hey, how you doing? That's how you do it.
Oh, I fucking love it, man. I love it.
It works.
Oh, God. It's just fascinating. Like, I mean, I see it when you fight. I see it like you enjoy yourself. You're having a great time out there. I'm having a great time watching you. And it's very refreshing to hear somebody's different mindset of when it comes to their professional career. They show up, they know what they're here for. They understand they're a contractor. I'm paying Kevin to come out here and fight, entertain the fans, because at the end of the day, I'm making money off of Kevin being in this position. And if Kevin just wants to collect a check and break necks, hey, I'm gonna give him an opportunity. But I'll be curious to see what happens when you put together 4, 5, 6 fight win streak to see if your demeanor is going to change. If you're like, no, fuck that. I'm 33. I'm going for the belt. I want to be a world champion, and I want to see if I could be the best in the world.
No. I don't think it will. I just don't feel it changing. It's like the best in the world is I'm Jamal's my bro, Jamal Hill, that's my bro. Mm-hmm. It's like I would love to see him fight Pereira again. It's like it'd be great. It's like just because that's what my bro wants. I want to see my bro get it again.
Yeah.
Right now, in my eyes, 2 best guys on the road, John Jones and Pereira. Pereira, he could be right up there with John Jones for that activity. You get what I'm saying? It's like he doesn't have an undefeated record. He's not perfect, but that activity, being able to fight anybody and everybody at any time, all the time, to me, that says a lot. I do that. I like that. That's something that I'm fond of. I don't want it to be a handpicked. I don't ever want it to be a handpicked career or nothing like that. To me, that's not, the greatest in the world. It's like we sit in the room and people are like talking about goats. It's like, it's like I'm gonna go buy 4 goats for my land because I'm having hell buying these red Angus cows. When I buy these goats, it's like I'm gonna buy 4 goats. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be my MMA Rush Mountain goats. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have John Jones, I'm gonna have GSP, and I'm gonna have Demetrious. You get what I'm saying? My 4th goat doesn't have a fucking name. You know what I mean? And it's like that's just the way it is. People say, why don't you go KHABIB? And it's like KHABIB's fantastic. He's probably might be one of the world's greatest coaches ever. You know what I mean? Like the way he's doing his thing right now, it's fascinating. But when you add up, the title defenses, when you add up the activity level, when you add up the opponent's records, when you add up all these different things, it's like I have my 3 goats, I just don't have the 4th yet. So it's like I don't know where I'm going with this, but overall, it's like, I like those guys who just fight a lot, and it's like you could be smart about your career. That's great. I seen you fight the who's, and no matter what division it was, until they came out with your division and you ran it. You get what I'm saying? And then you went to ONE FC and we ran it over there too. And it's like I watched John Jones fight the who's of all the years, and now people are complaining because he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. To me, these guys are goats. You know what I mean? I watched Pereira run out there and fight anybody and everybody, And to me, GSP, whoever we put in front of him, he fought him, you know, and the guy had a very, very clean record. And if he ever did anything he wasn't supposed to do, he never got caught for it. And to me, that's an A1 criminal. So I think like these are the guys I like, you know, I like these guys who are active and I like these guys who take the challenges in front of them. That's just how I am.
So you said GSP's an A1 criminal.
No, he might not be.
I know. I was fucking with you. I was gonna say, well, he never caught. John Jones got caught. So what's he back criminal or what's going on? He felt
you
what?
know, it's like, have you ever seen what's it white collar or blue collar or whatever that is, a show on TV?
I'm not sure. Michael, you seen it?
You know, with Neil Caffrey, and it's a good show. It's a good show. It's decent. You know, it's older. It's an older show. It's decent. You know, it's like John Jones is Neil Caffrey. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He got caught, but he's still fucking, man. You know? Still getting licks right underneath their nose. He's the guy. You know? Love John.
I love him too. I think John's great. And I think GSP's great. And yeah, it's kind of interesting when you say that about like just running it. Like, fight as many people as you can, make as much money as possible. And yeah, I mean, I had that same mindset, like just fight as much as possible because they're paying me to fight, show up, fight, and then go home, take care of the wife and kids, and pressure wash the fence, get the HOA off my back. And that's what it was. That's what it was for me. So I can relate to how your mindset is with your mixed martial arts career. Get in, make the money, and get out. Now, is your end game to own a farm one day? Like, do you want to have your own farm and have your 4 goats? You can name one: GSP, John Jones, Demetrious.
I'll probably realistically, on this land that I have out in the Kona, I'll probably put like 30 goats out there just to keep my ag exemption.
Okay.
But the 4 goats I get, they'll be big dog goats. You know what I mean? Like the main goats will be big dog goats.
Don't
You're
name
gonna be small, but it's okay.
Why I gotta be fucking small, dog? If you gonna make me small, just don't make me the ugly one, okay? Make me small, but name one of the ugly ass ones, one of the other goats.
I might send you like 5 or 6 different goats to choose from. You choose the goat. You know what I mean?
Okay, fair enough. Bet I'm gonna hold you to it.
That's fine with me. I gotta buy these goats anyways. So
hey, if you do that, I'll change my fucking Instagram handle to that goat's face.
That goat will be a famous ass goat.
I fucking love that.
Come out to the farm like, what goats can I kill? Not that goat. That goat's famous.
Don't you fucking kill that goat. Don't you kill me.
Goat's famous.
You got 40 goats. Choose the other, 36
I'll
out
let
there.
those 4 be daddies, and I'll just make the rest women.
Ooh, okay. I like where you're going with that.
It's a good way to do it, right?
Oh, God, this is hilarious. Okay, I'm going to talk about your hunting. Like, what got you into hunting?
My boy Cowboy. My boy Cowboy takes me to do all the crazy stuff. He took me out to New Mexico. It's been a year now, year and some change. November 16th actually made a year. So we went out and we went to New Mexico, and I think I had a seminar. And I didn't have a seminar at that time. I just went out there. He was like, bro, you're going to come out there and kill this elk. You know, you're shooting all these guns. Come kill something. I'm like, all right, perfectly fine. I'll go kill something. You know, he's like, the meat tastes good too, so you'll bring you some coolers. You're going to drive the shit home. I'm like, okay, no problem. I guess he thought I was going to be scared or something like that, or I wasn't going to have a good enough shot, or I don't know what it was. You know what I mean? I felt like he was playing with my ego. You know what I mean? He was like, it's the type of stuff I care about. He was playing with that. You know what I mean? So I went out there, pow, you know what I mean? Shot that elk, dragged that elk through the mountains. All that blood was everywhere. The food was delicious. And after that, I was just hooked. You know, and it's like a couple weeks later, I was switching up all my guns, getting more style hunting rifles instead of just having, you know, house rifles and stuff like that, and switching it up and loving my new loadouts, loving my new setups. I got badass setups, you know, and it's like, and since then, I've just been hunting nonstop. So that's actually why I purchased my land out there, for it to be, you know, the ranch and everything. It'd be a good ranch, but I don't know why people. Hey, I'm in an interview. I have to call you later. Okay. So, yeah. And, you know, yeah. So basically, that's why I got the ranch. I got into hunting because my boy took me out there to New Mexico. And ultimately, and it's like, there's nothing better than shooting live targets instead of shooting, you know, metal things or paper things. Those things are boring. You know? Yeah. And it's always better to hit it on the run.
And what's been your favorite animal to hunt?
Animal to kill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hogs and coyotes. My boy Ben, the one that I sent you the picture with, me and him doing all the killing, he likes doing coyotes. Like, he's really, really good at doing coyotes, and out in where he's from, he's really known for red foxes and stuff like that a few years back. So Ben's really good at that, and so he loves doing coyote stands and stuff like that. And I'm cool with the coyote stands. It's like, I guess I haven't got out there at the right time to really see him run in like that. We did have a few run in one night, and it was pretty fun, but the hogs, man. I live in Texas. There's nothing better than killing hogs. You know, it's like so many of them. You know, it's like I go out in the middle of the night. It's like I carry a chest pouch. You know, I got 3 mags on the front. I got another mag in there. They're all 30-round mags. You know, and it's like I'm running out. You know, and it's like I'm suppressed. You know, and it's like and I'm just giving it to them. You know, and it's like they're tearing up farms and stuff like that. So I'm helping my farmers out and stuff. So I'm having a blast. You know, and it's like I'm just ripping through hogs left and right. You see in the pile, like we make piles. Yeah. You know, and it's like. And the time's right, you know, it's like I'm black, so I'm not really into all that cold weather. You know what I mean? I'm more like I like to heat a little bit. So, you know, I like to sweat a little bit, get the camp going right, you know? So it's like I'm out there hunting these hogs in the middle of the night in Texas weather. It's 98 degrees out there. Right when it gets about like 80, they think they're gonna get out there and have some fun at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Here I am. Bam. It's just giving it to them, bro. You know what I mean? I put them in the back of the truck, take them out to my land, dump them. Let the coyotes and let the bobcats and stuff come in. The birds come and eat off of them. And then I just go out there and I bam. So I use one def to get another def. It's amazing. I love hunting.
Damn. So a lot of people don't realize that. And I had to learn this from my father-in-law because he's a massive hunter. Like every single year, it's fishing season in May. It's open in the ocean. Then after that, once it started hitting the fall, elk season, moose season, deer season, all of it, he's gone. It's like, where's Alan? Oh, he's gone hunting. And and he would talk about like going over the mountains, and he's a master hunter. So they call him first to come take care of come take care of an animal who's, you know, ruining people's farms, vegetation, all that stuff. And I'm like, man, why don't you leave that deer alone? He goes, dude, they're destroying crop. They're destroying property. That's why I'm going to go take care of them. And a lot of people don't realize the hogs, that's what they do, right? Like, if the hogs were fine and not like ruining crops and destroying vegetation, you guys want to be out there hunting them. But they are overrun. Their population is through the roof. They destroy you guys' crops, and I'm sure you guys put a little dent in those hogs you guys take out. Now, do you guys ever turn around and just eat the hogs? Like, hey, I'm gonna make some like bacon from the hogs, or
you know, some people do, but they're not feeder hogs. So the thing about it is like you can eat them. Make no mistake about it. But one thing people got to remember is pigs in general, whether they're hogs, pigs, whatever, they're some of the nastiest animals of all times. You know what I mean? They don't sweat. Hey, they eat whatever they can. You know, it's like they'll eat your baby if you let them. It's like they don't care. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like got to be careful what you eat. And eating a hog is not always the best thing to do. I have shot a few that looked pretty decent, and I was like, damn, that probably cleaned up pretty nice. You know, but this ain't Hawaii. You know what I mean? This ain't one of those pretty states. You know what I mean? These things are really like rummaging through anything and everything. You know what I mean? Like I tell you, bro, I kill a hog. I set a hog out there, and if the coyote doesn't get him, another hog comes and eats him. So these hogs, they just
the coyote comes and goes, nah, I ain't that fucking hog. I'm out. And the hog goes, I'll eat it.
Exactly, bro. It's not Timon and Pumbaa. It's nasty, bro. I'm telling you, it's very, very bad. So yeah. It's like, and they stink, bro. Like you ever let one sit in the back of the truck for, you know, longer than 6 hours? It's like you're gonna smell them for a couple days. So
damn. Now you said they don't sweat. How do you know they don't sweat? Is it just from like the pheromones, like when you kill them, or?
Yeah, they say they just don't sweat. They bleed out well, but they just say they don't sweat. You know, they say those are one of the animals that just no sweat glands. They're just literally, it's like if they don't shit it out, it's just in there, it's in them, you know. And it's
got it.
They're such a greasy, nasty animal that you're gonna naturally get the same taste, pretty much whatever you get. But the hogs are just they're not their feeder pigs, so you're not gonna get slabs of bacon out of it and all this other stuff. You're gonna just get a shit piece of pork, you know. And it's like pork's not even the best thing to have, so I doubt you want a shit piece of pork.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not a pork fan. I mean, I'll do some pork ribs, but if I could do beef ribs instead, I'll do that. I love me some beef ribs.
Now, if they told me I was gonna get some good ribs off these hogs and stuff like that, I would do it. You know, it's like now when I did start, you know, first started killing the hogs and stuff, I did, you know, I was asking. I was like, hey, you know, we're killing these things. Should we be taking them to get processed? You know, what should be going on? And every farmer and every hunter I talk to, they say no. You know, and it's like there's a few people that, you know, they'll go get them a hog, they'll flip the legs, they'll stab it, they'll gut it, you know, and they'll go take it and they'll eat it. You know, that's a different kill. But, you know, it's like the way we're killing these hogs, we're filling them up with so much lead, you don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, I seen a couple of videos. I seen one video you sent me, and you're like out in the middle of the night. I was like, what is his ass doing at 2-3 a.m. in the morning? And you're like, I'm hunting. I'm like, what the fuck are you hunting at that time of night? My father-in-law does not hunt at that time of night. And then you show me the picture. You had a whole body of hogs just sitting there. I'm like, ah. And my father-in-law goes, man, hey, you know, you think he'll let me come down there?
For sure.
I was like, hey, you ain't about to go do no Call of Duty shit without me. I was like, I never got to know, you know, hog hunting.
Nah, you'll love it. we got night vision. So I'm sponsored by Polestar. So I got night vision and all this different stuff. So it's like it's a blast. And then I got like 2 sponsors for suppressors. So you don't have to worry about earmuffs or none of that. We're just out there having a blast. Everybody has suppressed guns. Everybody has night vision. So it's pretty good. Now, thing about it is, if you're not looking down the scope, you ain't seeing shit unless you come with some binoculars and all that stuff like that. But
why
I
not?
got a few extra.
Why not? Because you got to get too close, or I mean,
it's just dark. It's so dark at night. I mean,
gotcha.
Every once in a while we'll hunt and there'll be a full moon. Like, I can't always control what the moon's gonna do. And if the full moon, it's pretty bright outside, so we gotta be a little bit smarter when we're hunting in the middle of the night. But for the most part, we're usually hunting. It's usually pretty fucking dark out there.
Why do you do it at nighttime and not during daytime?
It's just you don't see the hogs the same way in the daytime that you will at nighttime. Like, they're a nasty creature, and they're, like I said, they don't really sweat, so they get hot. You know what I mean? They get extremely hot. So the cooler the temperatures are, the more often you're going to see pigs running around. So it's like you will see some daytime pigs, like in the fall when it's cool, or in the wintertime when it's real cold out. You might see them running around, and then you might, if it gets too cold, they might try and go get all in a ball together and try and keep each other warm type stuff. But for the most part, you just kind of got to know the time frame. That's why we put our cameras up and stuff like that. We put our feeders out. We kind of try and train them to be on a timer. But at my property, I don't train them to be on a timer. I just let them live their life. I just keep the camera out and, knock them down whenever I go down there. It's the best way to do it.
Got it. Now, out of all the animals that you've killed, what's the one animal that's like your golden thing that you want to hunt and kill?
That I want to go hunt and kill?
Yeah, like it's like before you die, before Kevin Holland has his last joint, his last blunt, he needs to kill this animal and put it on the wall.
I would love to do a grand slam, like something to put on the wall.
Well, hold on now. What's a grand slam? I'm new to this. I never heard my father talk about no goddamn grand slam. What's a grand slam?
A lot of hunters don't like to speak on grand slams because they're so fucking expensive to get done. It's like I'd be basically giving up one of my these days fight purses to get a grand slam done. You know what I mean? It's like so I was like, I'm putting money aside just for a grand slam.
Okay, well, what is a goddamn grand slam? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You're killing everything. You're killing like there's like, I couldn't tell you 100% without freaking messing up, but it's like you have to kill so many big animals. Kill so many birds. Like you kill like every bird on the list. You kill every big animal on the list. Like you kill everything on the list. Like you don't not kill. You kill everything.
Gotcha. So I'm assuming are we talking like giraffe, lion, rhinoceros?
No. So it's like it's like animals on our side of the native. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
okay.
Our hemisphere, however you say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like not an African Grand Slam or nothing like that. Just it's like American Grand Slam, like Northern American Grand Slam. So it's like I'll have to go to Alaska and Canada and stuff like that
to get a moose.
To get the moose, to get the bears and certain things like that.
Got it.
The things that you don't see that often, and you can't get none of the kills on like ranches. Like it has to be like out in the wild type stuff. It can't be a high fence ranch. It has to be like, the proper way. Like, and then you have to get like a desert ram but like, I have a certain way I want to do it. Like there's a Texas slam that you can hit. And so it's like every animal that's on the Texas slam, I want to do all that in 1 year because you have to do the Texas slam in 1 year. So I'll line all those up on, probably like 4 or 5 months with just boom, 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 knock them all down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Probably twice a month, go out there and try and get it done. And it's like, the thing about the slams is like, I'm used to doing my hog hunts where I can go out at night, kill a bunch of hogs, come home, be done.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Get back to training.
Yep.
When I go do these slams, more than likely, I'm going to have to be done with my career. I'm going to have to be done fighting, and I'm going to have to be focused on just strictly hunting. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, hunting's not easy. I can't tell you how many times my father has gone to Alaska looking for a moose. And I know using moose hunts, like when you do them, it's like, $35,000 to $5,000 just for the hunt, just like for the guide to get up there to do all that stuff. And sometimes you don't see a moose, or you don't see the moose you're trying to, because it's a tag, right? You got to get a tag. Then once you get the tag, if you see the right moose that you want to shoot, you shoot it. But if you never see that fucking moose, $5,000 is
the thing. Everybody always wants that perfect animal, and it's like you can wait and see it. I'm not patient enough. I'm gonna smoke the first fucking moose I see, and I'm packing that thing out. We're sparking up a blunt and going on, baby. Yeah.
When you said that, it reminds me of you being in the bar. I ain't gonna talk to the motherfucking 10. I'm gonna go for the one that gonna give me no problems. So the first fucking moose I see, I'm smoking his ass.
I'm smoking that thing, bro. It's like we were getting the elk this time around, and You're like, what do you think of that elk? What do you think of that elk? I'm like, bro, I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at this elk right here. They're like, what elk? This elk right here. What elk?
Yeah.
The little one right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to hit it, drop it, pick it up, go home. I ain't trying to climb over the mountain, pack it, bring it back over the mountain, put a winch on there, drag it. I'm not, man, that's too much work. We're going to kill this thing right here and go home.
It's like your career. I'm gonna get this check, get the fuck out, right? We out there hunting. I see elk, I'm shooting it. I don't give a fuck if it's a 6 point, 2 point. I don't give a shit. I'm shooting it. I'm dragging his ass back home, and I'm processing him.
Yeah, process them quick too, boy. Cause as soon as I kill it, I'll be ready to eat. I'll be like, well, you see that shit? That shit look good, don't it? You know what I mean?
Oh,
like I can tell how good it's gonna be when they skinning it. I'm like, yeah, that's right there. That's gonna be the one. So it's just how it goes.
What's the favorite meat that you ate that you killed?
Hey, I promise you, bro. I'm really big on that elk. So it's like if I had to go in order right now, it'd be the elk. It would be that scimitar oryx. That oryx was really good. That oryx meat was really good. Then it'd be that red deer. I really don't even like deer like that, but that red deer, something about it. And then after that, I'd go to the water buffalo. The water buffalo is pretty good.
Ooh, water buffalo. I never had no water. I've had buffalo before, but I've never had water buffalo.
So we went with I went with Mick Maynard, the UFC matchmaker. Mick Maynard.
Yep.
We went out and he got him a regular bison, and then I went and got a water buffalo. And we took a little bit of his meat and I took some of mine and we mixed it together. I do a little nonprofit, so we had a Father's Day barbecue and I did it for the people out in the DFW. So it was pretty cool. It was a little fun ordeal. So we just went out to a little higher fence ranch and just quick little meat slaughter type thing, and it was fun. I mean, I had a blast. Pretty sure Mick did too. So it's a good way to do it.
Damn, that's what's up. Yeah, usually when you go hunting, you're gone for, my father-in-law, he'd be gone for sometimes a week, 2 weeks, looking for that right one. Oh, I saw a couple of them today, but didn't see the right one. And then, a week later, I'm on my way home, didn't get nothing. I'm like, fuck, Alan.
Yeah, see, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I might just have to pay for two. Like, I see one, smoke that one. Okay, now we're out for 2 weeks. All right, I'm gonna sit here and wait and see if I see the right one now. Yep. But I'm not going home empty-handed. I hate going home empty-handed.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you gone home empty-handed?
It's been a couple times that we went out to kill some hogs and some coyotes and we didn't see anything at all. It's been about a couple times, like about 4 times, out of quite a few. So it's like, I don't awfully go home empty-handed. But if I sign up to go do a hunt, I'm not coming home empty-handed.
Gotcha.
I'm better off not to come home. Yeah. Like my boy was mad at me. Like my boy Cowboy, he was mad at me because we were out in New Mexico and we had a seminar, and it's like they did call me and said I had to fight, and so I was already like, dude, it's gonna mess up my hunt. Like I gotta get home. Like we got a seminar, I got to hunt. And I had shot something and we were having a hell tracking it. It got nighttime. Everybody was talking about we got to go home, and I was like, I don't want to fucking go home. Hell. Yeah. So we went home. Went back to the Airbnb. So I woke up early the next morning. Boom, shoot down there, go find it. We find the elk. Coyote bit into it, so the meat's no good. So I'm like, oh, this is no good. So we go out, we go find another one, and it's like, boom, it's like I'm about to go shoot this one too. It's like I'll pay for a second tag. Oh well, it's like it is what it is. I'm going home with some meat. And it's like that's how we're doing it. That's what I came here for. So we go find another one. Boom, we shoot it. It's time to go to the seminar. We're tracking this thing. He's like, bro, we got to go. Like we're already gonna be late no matter what. Like unless you leave and you go with all your hunting clothes on, we're gonna be late. I'm going with my hunting clothes on because we're finding this fucking animal. And so, we're out there 3-4 hours, don't find anything. At this point in time, it's like, if we go to the seminar, we're only going to be there for like 30 minutes. I'm like, all right, let's go to the seminar. Let's go talk to everybody. Let them know I have things to do. Go to the seminar. Let them know I have things to do, which I have to go back, get ready for the fight. I go back. We find the animal. Boom. Now I'm gone. I go back home.
Wow. That's fucking...
I got to get the animal. Yeah, it's like,
I fucking love it. I can't wait to tell my father-in-law about this because he's going to spark joy in his face to hear. Because he always loves, like the one that he does when we go out and we travel, he'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a hunter. And the guy goes, oh, I'm a hunter too. And he goes, oh, well, let me show what I just killed. Let me show you this fucking thing. Look at this. Watch the bullet hit the side. I'm like, oh my God. And it's just... I feel like I'm talking to my father-in-law when I'm listening to you talk about hunting and the passion. I feel like you love hunting more than fighting.
No, don't get it twisted. I love a good scrap. I love a scrap. It's just the politics that come with it. You know what I mean? The politics come with the fighting. I don't have much politics when I go to hunt. It's like hunting's fresh. I've been fighting for a while. I've been fighting for a long time. You have to know that one day in time, fighting is going to come to an end. Yep. And it's like I'm getting closer to the end than I am the beginning. And, it's like with hunting, I'm just fucking getting started. So it's like I have a lot of room to make up for on the hunting. Yep. On the fighting, I just have to clean up a few things and go out in a really good bang. And it's like everything was smooth and everything was fucking perfect. Yeah. It's like I still got a lot of fights left. As far as I fight a lot in a year, so I still got a lot of fights left. But I don't have a lot of years left. You get what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's a good way to look at it.
How many times do you fight in 1 year? Like 4 or 5?
Yeah, the record I have for UFC is 5, but when I was local, I think I fought like 6 or 7 times in 1 year.
Damn.
And I would like to do that again. I doubt they'll give me the opportunity to do that again, but I'd like to do it again.
You never know.
He said I can get 4 to 5 this year if I'm healthy. So I'd like to get 4 to 5. And it just take the people they give you, knock them down, beat them up, and keep it going. It's like people always say, "Why did you stay at welterweight?" I just couldn't fight frequently enough. And it's like it wasn't the weight cut for me. It just they didn't want me fighting that much and cutting weight. At 85, I walk around at 196 pounds. It's very easy to get to 85. I fight as much as possible.
Yeah.
So,
and like you said, it's healthier for your body. You can have a longevity of it. And I feel you get your fight, you train for the fight, you fight, you get done, then you start doing other activities, right? Like you start hunting, you start doing other stuff that bring joy to your life. I know fighting brings joy to your life, but I also feel when I sit here and I talk to you, I feel the other things outside of fighting bring more joy to your life as it did for me. Right? Like I enjoyed playing game. I enjoyed hanging out with the wife. I enjoyed hearing the stories of my father-in-law hunting, Uh-oh. Who's that calling? Who that calling?
That's Uncle Pat.
Oh.
Hey, Pat, I'll call you back in a few minutes. There we go.
Okay, well, Kevin Holland's a very busy man. Michael is
not always.
Sometimes. Okay. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time, man. Like I enjoyed listening to the passion you have for hunting. Like I just do. And that's one of the things I love about doing. I would have never known you were such a big avid hunter and you love it. And I can see that once you're done fighting, you're going to have so much more joy hunting. And I hope you get that Grand Slam. I hope you make it over to Africa and shoot a lion. I don't know if you have any interest in that. Oh,
so dude, I don't really like long flights. It's like I had this coach named Shug, and this guy caught blood clots on our flight to China or on our flight home, one or the other. And it's like ever since then, I haven't really been big on long flights. Now, if they can find a way to break down the flight a little bit to where it's not so long or it's not so taxing, get me to the closest part of U.S. that you take off from before you got to go where you got to go, I'll probably do that. But it's like if I'm going to go overseas, it's like I told the UFC that I've been crying about not going overseas. I told them I'll go overseas to fight this year if you guys really, really want me to. But there's a but in there. It's like my hunt needs to be lined up right after, and you need to find out who's bringing my rifles and my guns with me. And there's only one security guard I trust there, so it's going to have to be him.
Damn. I love it. Michael, before we let my man Kevin go, you got anything for him?
Yeah, what's up, Kevin?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, so one thing I want to ask about, I've wondered it for 2 years because it was a very interesting situation. UFC 279, for anyone who doesn't remember, it was kind of a shit show. You have Khamzat miss weight by like 9.5 pounds or whatever. You were supposed to fight Daniel Rodriguez. And then something I've never seen before, and I don't know if you have, DJ, switching the fights. 4 guys basically switch, or actually 6 guys, sorry, because the main event got switched to Nate Diaz, Tony Ferguson. What, from your perspective, what was that situation like? Like, because I know I was actually there in Vegas. They knew about it right after weigh-in, so this must have been something the day before that was discussed, maybe on Thursday a little bit. I thought it was so badass of you to no disrespect to D-Rod, but you go from a 170 fight against D-Rod, and then you go against, I think, a 180 catchweight fight against a beast like Khamzat. What was it like when UFC approached you about that whole situation?
No, it's deeper than that. So when they came to me to fight D-Rod, they always said they wanted me to fight D-Rod at 180 pounds, which was weird to me. You know what I mean? I thought the D-Rod, he said he could make 170. I knew I could make 170. So it was always wanting me to fight D-Rod at 180 pounds. Then Chimaev came in and he came in at 180 pounds. It's kind of like it was always set up to be that way. And so for me personally, like I said, I don't care. It's a fight's a fight. Nope. I knew I was going into an uphill battle, but at the end of the day, I figured if I can make the best out of the situation, make the best out of the situation. And, you know, everybody's a con man in their own way. I made the best out of the situation, you know. My life has never been better. And so it's like, it's kind of hard to argue with that one. That one worked out pretty swell.
No, and I'm happy you're saying that because it felt like pro wrestling for me because I don't know if you remember, DJ, but Kevin had a little... I don't remember exactly what it was, but you had something with Khamzat, right? A couple days before, maybe at the press conference, you got into it with him. So it just felt like everything was planned a little bit, right? Like it was.
Yeah, it seemed like it plotted up just right, huh?
Yeah, I was like,
No,
I was like,
I'm here to tell you,
what's going?
I'm here
This
to tell you
did not.
100%.
This did not. Because I'm telling
UFC
yeah.
is not WWE, so it's not scripted whatsoever. But if to say that I didn't know there was going to be an opportunity to arise that whole time, I'd be lying. Just you gotta know a good hustle, man. You know, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, it's like I was looking at it, and it's like whoever really thought that Diaz and fucking Chimaev was supposed to fight. You know what I mean? Now, I got the shit into the stick because I thought that something was going to happen and I was going to be able to sneak in and get the Diaz fight.
Yeah.
Well, I got the Chimaev fight. But
Yeah.
fuck it. It is what it is. I got what I wanted financially, so it was hard to complain. And at the end of the day, I've always been here to make sure that my family was financially set for the rest of our lives. And so when you're able to put me in that situation, you know, it's like, I don't like Chimaev, but at the end of the day, I have some type of deep love for the man because it was a red panty night and I appreciate him.
Hey, Kevin, man, God, this was absolutely amazing. This is your opportunity to let the fans know how they can support you, where they can look for, you know, that you got coming out, any of the hunts, hogs, whatever. This is your opportunity to let the fans know how they can support you, brother.
Guys, I hate to do this to you guys, but just support me. Just look out for the sponsors, free and BioSteel. Other than that, you know, you guys know you find me at Trailblazer to the top on Instagram. And if you want to find me hunting, good fucking luck.
Well, boom! There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my boy Kevin Holland for taking time out of his beautiful day to come on the MightyCast. Kevin, we appreciate you. I'm your host, Demetrious Johnson. That is my co-host, Michael Wandover. And we will see you guys at the next episode of the MightyCast.
And I did it with no smoke breaks. Let's go.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Mighty Recap. And this is part of the episode where we recap everything we just went through with our guest. And our guest was Kevin Holland, Trailblazer. Man, what a joy it was talking to him. To be honest with you, I don't even give a fuck about his fight. I just want to keep talking to him about his hunting, his passion for hunting, because it's something that you often don't see in my neck of the woods is a black hunter. A hunter who is black, who has that much passion. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't been around all of the hunting community, but I would like to say, you know, my father-in-law, which I've been married to my wife for almost 20 years, it's been part of my life for 20 years that I've never actually partaken in it. But to hear the passion in Kevin's voice, it felt like I was talking to my father-in-law. And then, when we talk about his mixed martial arts, he has the same mindset that I had. It's all about making as much money as possible, getting out when you want to get out, and be able to live the rest of your life. And it's kind of refreshing to hear that he doesn't care about being a champion. He's very happy. He sees all the champions look unhappy. It's a lot of media obligations. And he is right. Like, especially in 2024, 2025, in 2025, it's all about the media obligations, right? The more you're in the limelight, the more interviews you do, more of this, more it's going to turn over to, your stardom, pay-per-view points, et cetera, et cetera. Where for him, he's happy in his own little lane, doing what he loves to do, which is fighting. And I think he loves hunting more than he does fighting. And I think it's just because hunting is something fresh for him. And hunting for him is probably like jiu-jitsu is for me. Jiu-jitsu is fresh, it's new, it's fun. I'm going to the tournaments, I'm learning new stuff in the gi. And for him, him having his guns. I never forget when I got my first AR and I got it suppressed, and I haven't had the opportunity to go shoot it because, when I went to Texas to go shooting in Texas is way better than shooting in Washington State. In Texas, you drive out, 20 minutes and you can fucking fire fully automatic, semi-automatic, and it's just a fucking ball. Here in Washington State, make sure it's I don't want to drive fucking 3 hours to the mountain to let it rip. Let me drive 25 minutes on a farm and let it rip. But that was probably my favorite part of the interview, was talking to him about hunting and his passion for that. Fighting, I love hearing his thoughts on that, but hunting for me was where I really enjoyed this part of this interview.
I'm just happy for me he confirmed a long theory I've had, because so I was at UFC 279 and I was I'm not just saying this, the tweets can back up the receipts. I was the first person to post because someone told me, a little birdie told me, hey, just so you know, they're going to switch up. So there was 3 fights that were supposed to happen, right? Between 6 fighters, at UFC 279, and then they all got just fucking, you remember that, right? Last second, they all got switched, and the main event, which was supposed to be Nate Diaz Khamzat, got switched into Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson, and then Kevin Holland went against Khamzat. So what basically where my confusion came was, how would UFC know about this? How did someone tell me about these changes before Khamzat missed weight? And what I've found out now, as he said, it was never going to be Khamzat Nate Diaz. It was not happening. I think they always knew, like, we're going to have to likely switch up this card. How are we going to switch it up? Who's willing to fight who? So maybe Khamzat gave them the heads up and said, fuck, I'm not making weight. There's no way I'm making weight. But I'm telling you, everything felt too perfect. The press conference, he gets into it with Khamzat, felt like pro wrestling to me, and I'm happy on this day I could confirm there was more to it than, oh, Khamzat missed weight, we're going to do it last second. It was probably a week-long thing versus 24 hours.
Yeah, I think, so typically how it happens, I think the UFC knows a lot more than they let off, and typically when you come to fight week, you show up and they check your weight. They want to see how close are you to your weight. Some people show up 15 pounds overweight, or some people show up 5 pounds overweight. It all just depends on the athlete. And
You're saying on Monday or Tuesday?
On Tuesday, yeah. You show up.
Oh shit! This is news to me. This is some good.
See.
I had no idea.
See. This is why this podcast is one of the best, because you have one of the best who's been around the world and done it. So typically, you show up, they check your weight. They're like, "Hey, we want to see where you're at, right? Because on this date, you're contracted to be this weight class that you signed the contract under." And so let's just say figuratively, Khamzat showed up. He's supposed to fight 170. Let's say he showed up at 200 pounds, right? Which people have done that before. They show up 200 pounds and they're like, and the commission will know that too. And then sometimes the commission could say, you're out of range. You're not fighting that weight class. We're not gonna monitor. We're not gonna allow you to cut from 200 pounds to 170. Once again, every commission is different. So when you show up to fight week, they check your weight. After they check your weight, they see where you're at, and then sometimes they do a pre-weight check where it's like, hey, we're 2 days out from weigh-ins or 1 day out from weigh-ins. We want to check your weight if we have any type of worry that you're not going to make it. So maybe during that fight weight check, he checked in a little bit too heavy. They're like, we don't know if you're going to make it. We want to check your weight again. Okay, you're not going to fucking make it. Or the athlete can say, hey, I'm not going to make it. What are we going to do? Right? Some athletes do that, and then they try to, scramble and make something happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. Like, he showed up super fucking heavy and they're like, he's not going to make it, guys. Like, we got to figure something out or get something just in case he doesn't make it. This is what we're thinking. So yeah, I mean, for me, I'm surprised, but I've been in a fight game where before, like, people show up and are like, he's not going to fucking make it. And then they make a quick change, and it happens all the time. Even when I fought for one championship, they check your weight when you get there. If you're at a limit where they like it, they're like, okay, that's reasonable. You're gonna cut 6 to 8 pounds. Okay, you're fine. But if you come in at like 20 or 15 over, they're like, we're gonna check your weight again, and we're gonna check it again, and we're gonna keep on checking it until we feel comfortable, until you get lower and lower and lower. So that's probably what happened. And they're like, hey, we're gonna make this happen. And like he said, he got a red panty night, and he was happy about it.
It was the easiest payday of his life. It was the fight was like 30 seconds, and he didn't get hit once in the face. Just gets taken down and subbed immediately. So it was probably the easiest money and the highest payday that he's had in his UFC career. So, however it turned out, worked out for him. And I think this weekend he has a really interesting matchup against a former one championship double champ, Reinier de Ridder. So what do you think? Because I think for you, I mean, of course, you're going to be rooting for Kevin Holland after this MightyCast, but deep down, there's a little bit of, okay, this is a one championship guy. Look at the 2 belts behind you. He held 2 of those as well. So do you think he'll show that he belongs, or do you think Holland is kind of, a little bit more overall? Like, this is welcome to the UFC moment.
Yeah, I think this probably is welcome to the UFC moment, because I think RDR, I think he is good. And for me, whether he fought in one championship, whether he fought in PFL, Bellator, I don't like to put like, oh, he's one of us, because when I went to UFC and I went to one championship, I never brought that flag over like, I'm representing the UFC, right? So RDR is on his own boat. and he's fighting on Kevin Holland. I've always been a big fan of Kevin Holland. I'm a fan of RDR too, and I think this is a good style matchup stylistically because RDR needs the fight go to the ground. There's no secret there. Right? When he fought Angela, he took the fight to the ground. When he fought Anatoly, he couldn't get the fight to the ground, so he got fucked. So if Kevin Holland can keep it on his feet and work him on the feet, which I think he can, then Kevin Holland should win this fight. But if Kevin Holland goes against the grain, he goes against the game plan and says, fuck it, let's just run it, he could be in a lot of trouble. And that's one of the things that I love about Kevin is that he's just straight up and honest about it. He goes, guys, I'm here to make money, and that's it. Like, I don't care about being a champion. I don't want the fucking problems. I don't want the media obligations. Just give me my fucking money and let me go. And I love that. I love that because when I talk to athletes, anything I do, any business that I do with any company or anything like this, I ask them, what is your end game? What is your goal for this? Even when you started the MightyCast, I was like, this is my goal, Michael. I hope one day a fucking big ass company comes in and says, we want to buy the MightyCast for like $10 million. Perfect. Michael, here's $5 million for you. And here's $4 million for you.
Thank you, PrizePicks.
Shout out to PrizePicks. Yeah, shout out to PrizePicks. But that's always my end game goal. And I think when people have that straightforward like mindset and transparency, I think it makes life a lot easier. And I think for him, when he's seeing like, that's my goal in fighting is to make as much money as possible. I don't want the headaches. I don't want to be part of the politics. I love a good scrap. Let me make my money and let me get to my next hunt. Fucking, I love it. I love it. I'm happy.
Yeah, and we have an absolutely stacked card coming up this weekend. LA UFC 311. Check out last week. We obviously had Islam Makhachev on the MightyCast, so you guys could go check that out. And we also spent obviously some time with his camp. Even I got in there for a couple hours. So we got to so DJ got to roll around with Umar and Islam. So just obviously we got our final predictions coming up, but what are your thoughts on this card? I mean, it is like seriously, it's one of the best main cards we've had. I mean, probably at least since 300. I mean, the first fight's Kevin Holland versus RDR. Then Beneil Dariush versus Moicano.
Moicano.
Yeah, we got a lot of friends of the show. Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska, Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov, and then, of course, the rematch, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian. What's getting you the most excited out of those matchups? I
mean, the Kevin Holland versus RDR would be a good fight. Moicano, he's always exciting. I think he's a dark horse. You know, I've heard some gym stories that he's very fucking good. Then you got Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prohaska. It'd be kind of interesting to see how Jamal Hill comes back after his knockout loss. I mean, both these guys got knocked the fuck out by Alex Pereira, so it'll be interesting to see how those guys come back after trauma has put them in their place. And then you have Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Merab. Love both those guys. You know, I've spent more time with Merab from hanging out with him. I spent maybe 45 minutes. Actually, I spent like 4 hours with Umar training with him. That's going to be a great fight. I think whoever's going to win that grappling exchange is going to win that fight. And then you have Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Sarukian. That's also going to be an absolute banger. I mean, I think all in all, it's a great way to start the year off with an absolute banger like we did with Islam, the MightyCast, and now we're doing Kevin Holland. I mean, 2025 is going to be a lit year, and I'm excited to be able to cover that. That fight is going to be dope.
Yeah, there's always a lot of hype no matter what for that January pay-per-view because we've gone so long without UFC, but it is rarely do you just start with such a banger of a card. So no complaints. You're not going to hear me bitching about UFC's putting out a weak ass card.
Always hear about you bitching. I love it. I'm like, this man be fucking. Even my wife, Destiny, she goes, that man's always bitching about something. I was like, hey now. That's just his personality now. Come on now.
Yeah, so we got it is a stacked card. As I said, we got a lot of content for you guys to check out. We're gonna get the final predictions out this week on Thursday, but you could also take a look at the Islam MightyCast last week. You could take a look at the viral Islam KHABIB training that we got posted that we posted in December. So no, we got a lot coming up for UFC 311, and of course the instant reaction on Saturday. So no, I'm pumped for this card.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boys, if you guys enjoyed this episode of the MightyCast and the Mighty Recap, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, leave a comment down below. We'd love to know what you guys thought about this episode with Kevin Holland. I enjoyed it. I like I said, I was really enjoying the Huntin aspect of it and his aspect of mixed martial arts and how he views MMA. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. I am your host, Demetrious Johnson. That is my co-host, Michael Wandsworth, and we'll see you guys at the next episode of the MightyCast.